Back to Uncle Smooth's Man Cave. This is your host, Uncle Smooth. We are going to do a 2022 Orioles autographing recap. There's a little bit of other stuff that's in there that's not Orioles related, but we're going to get going right away. This is going to be a new series. Like I said, we're going to start doing just recaps on different autographs. What's going on with the Orioles off season so far? They really haven't signed anybody. They've signed Kyle Gibson, basically as an upgrade, is Jordan Lyle. They've also signed Michael Givens. They've also signed Michael Givens, Adam Frazier from the Seattle Mariners. They signed him. They also signed Michael Givens, Kyle Gibson, Adam Frazier, and then they also traded for James McCann. And then recently they just traded Tyler Nevin as well to the Detroit Tigers for cash consideration. So I'm sure that'll just they'll just get some probably 50 or 60 grand for it. All right, so this is going to be, like I said, a new series that we're going to try to do where we're going to do a little bit of autograph recap. We're going to bring in some other collectors and show off some of the stuff that they have. Just ask them a couple questions. Those will be quick, like 5-10 minute videos. During the season, we're going to try to do player interviews if we can. We're going to do a little bit of minor league autographing this summer, so we might be able to get some minor league questionnaires, which would be cool to have just as just a little something different, hopefully. So we're going to get started here with what we got in for this past year. So first off I went to the Orioles Cardinals series in St. Louis, and the Orioles, Kyle Bradish on the first night there pitched, and actually got his first major league win. That was on May 10th. This is the ball from that game. As you can see, Kyle Bradish, it's actually got the label on top. Thanks to the Cardinals, like literally I went and picked up the ball and it was already there. I also have the ticket stub signed by Kyle Bradish, but what the cool part was that this is second base from that game, and then when Kyle did a rehab stint in Bowie, looked up, smiled, recognized who I was. I mean, I gave him the ticket, and we kind of got a little friendly. He definitely knew who I was this season, always would stop over, sign for me. But this is the second base from Kyle's MLB first win, and you can see Kyle signed it, and then also inscribed it first MLB win. My buddy Danny was with me when we got this signed. I was pretty stoked about getting that signed. So then we had the Orioles lost game 2, and then there was a day game, which was probably one of the hottest games of the year that I've been to. I did a tour the day before, and they were telling us that sometimes that field can get up to 110 degrees, and damn sure was close. But Rylan Bannon made his MLB debut that day, and what's funny is the day before, I'm in my hotel room, which was directly in front of the left field foul pole, right by my seats. So our seats were directly over top of the Orioles dugout. In the first row, we had the first 2 seats. I saw 2 guys with Oriole duffel bags walking. It wound up being Rylan Bannon and Richie Martin. I put it out on Twitter that, hey, it looks like Rylan Bannon's here in St. Louis. His wife wound up retweeting it, so I thought that was pretty cool. But this is Rylan's MLB debut ball from that game. Signed MLB debut. What was cool was later on in the season at Camden Yards, I actually bought Rylan Bannon's MLB debut jersey from that game. I posted it on Twitter, and then Rylan reached out to me on Twitter and asked how I got it, and then asked if we could exchange info, and we did. And then I get a phone call from I think it's Fred Harwell. It's the Orioles equipment manager. Gives me a phone call and asks if I'd be willing to trade for, if I'd be willing to trade it because the jersey was not supposed to be there, and Rylan reached out for it. So we worked it out, and me and Rylan made a trade. I sent him, the Orioles gave me another jersey of Rylan's, which wound up being his Saturday night jersey. He did not play in this game, but he wore the jersey. You could see like there's like a couple, the threads on the O are real loose. There's actually a dirt mark up here on the front as well. But I sent this out to Rylan to his house, and Rylan signed it for me, as you can see. And then this is also the 30th anniversary jerseys. which is pretty cool because this is the 30th anniversary of Camden Yards. So Rylan signed this jersey for me and a couple of his Topps Now rookie cards to also go with it. So that was pretty, it was pretty cool to be able to do that interaction with players. Then came back and we did some minor league autographing, and we wind up grabbing Kobe Mayo, which is probably going to be the breakout prospect of the year, just like Gunnar Henderson was. I had Kobe sign a bat and a helmet and a couple photos as well. And then once he got to Bowie, he actually signed a bunch of cards and baseballs, but he also signed a jersey, which is actually down here on the wall. You can't really see it, but Kobe Mayo helmet, plus a couple other things. Then we have Jorge Mateo. I think Jorge is a good player. I just don't see him with the Orioles long term. But these are Jorge Mateo's game-used batting gloves from this season. I wound up buying these from another collector who needed a little bit of a payola. So he was selling some game-used stuff, and I wound up buying these from him. So Jorge Mateo game-used batting gloves. Thought that was pretty cool. And then we have, let's see, what else did we get? Oh, we got Terrin Vavra's spring training jersey before he was called up, and this is the 30th anniversary spring training jersey from Terrin Vavra. He actually signed it the night I bought it, but he put his jersey number he was wearing during the season, not the jersey number that's actually on there. But hey, beggars can't be choosers when you're getting a free autograph. That's the way I look at it. It's signed. That's the good part about it. Then we have, what do we got here? We are going to go to, I picked up a ball from another collector. His name was Bill Dunty. Bill was selling one of Ryan Mountcastle's MLB debut baseballs. The funny part is these balls are kind of hard to get because they were from the COVID season. So obviously no fans were at the game, etc. So we wound up getting this baseball, and then I had Ryan sign it, Ryan Mountcastle, MLB debut 8/21/20. And I actually have a photo of Ryan that's inscribed 2015 first round pick, 8/21/20 MLB debut, 333 batting average, 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, 2020 all rookie team. So this is Ryan Mountcastle's MLB debut baseball. Then we wind up getting another Kyle Bradish baseball, which is from his MLB debut. So this is Kyle Bradish's MLB debut baseball from earlier this season at Camden Yards. I became a pretty good Kyle Bradish collector, which I thought was interesting just because he's one of those guys that I really think he's going to pan out for the Orioles very well. Another thing, last opening day, I actually picked up a base from last season and had it signed by Ryan Mountcastle and Cedric Mullins. Ryan's has a 33 home run, O's rookie record with the date that he broke it. And then Cedric, that was Cedric. This is Ryan's O's rookie record, 33 home runs. And then you have Cedric, first Orioles 30-30 with the date as well. So Ryan Mountcastle, Cedric Mullins, base from last season, signed with both records that was broken. Then we have Kyle Stowers made his debut this year. And Kyle wind up, like I said, I picked up gloves from another collector who was in need of a little bit of money. So these are Kyle Stowers' game-used batting gloves from this season, from his rookie debut season. I don't think he considered as a rookie because he didn't qualify. So he still should have rookie status next year, but Kyle Stowers' game-used batting gloves from this year. And on top of that, we bought a Kyle Stowers game-used bat. Now, what I thought was cool was all these markings here, which I was able to look and determine that this is the bat that Kyle Stowers used in his MLB debut in Toronto. So this is Kyle Stowers' MLB debut game-used bat. It's got, you can see markings all over it, the knob, everything, and obviously you can clearly see the ball transfers, and it's signed by Kyle, game used 22. Kyle Stowers' MLB debut from Toronto when Anthony Santander and Keegan Aiken could not make it to Toronto because they wasn't vaccinated. Stowers got the call up, and this is Stowers' MLB debut bat. I thought this was really cool. Next up is just going to be a couple different things. So, wind up picking this up. It is a Cal Ripken Sr. signed baseball. Cal Sr. obviously died many years ago, but I've never had anything signed by Cal Sr. So we wound up getting a Cal Sr. signed baseball. Thought this was just a really cool piece to pick up. But then, besides Cal Sr., one of the toughest things to ever get for the longest time, and then magically he signs a deal with CSA, and bam, Billy Ripken, the card, the fuckface card, signed. Billy did a signing in Chantilly in October, and it was what everybody needed to get done. These 89 Fleer cards with the fuckface on the bottom of them. So Billy Ripken, fuckface card, finally added to the collection. Next up, I did a little bit of autographing in Delmarva this year. For the first time, I went to the Delmarva Shorebirds, wound up getting a bunch of players signed, Dylan Beavers, Max Wagner, Creed Willems, who a friend of mine got me introduced to him, and Creed actually signed a bat for Wyatt, and it's written out to Wyatt, Creed Willems. We were there the night that Creed hit a walk-off home run, and he had a couple rough at-bats beforehand, and I looked at my buddy Danny and I said, he's pissed. This ball's probably going to land like 400 feet over the right field fence, and it was 2 pitches later, Creed hit an absolute 10 and homered. So that was just cool to see, and I have the ticket stub signed by Creed. I hit Tanks, Creed Willems. And then me and Creed wound up following each other on Instagram, and I just picked up one of Creed's first Bowmans. They wasn't released until they were signed. So the only Creed Willems first Bowmans that you can get are actually autographed, and I just picked one up the other night for my collection, just because it's a nice little personal touch that I got to talk with this guy a little bit and all. While I was down there also, the Orioles' #1 overall draft pick this year, Jackson Holliday, son of Matt Holliday, former Rocky, Cardinal, Yankee. The Orioles drafted him as the #1 overall pick in the draft this year, shortstop out of Oklahoma. Really, really nice kid. I was really surprised. I've heard horror stories about his dad with autographs, but Jackson, wow, it was really nice to see that a kid came out. He was so humble. I mean, I got a couple things signed for myself early. Even got 2 baseballs signed for Wyatt. One was signed in Sharpie, so next time I went down there 3 times. The next time I went down, I actually got him to sign another baseball in ink to Wyatt. So Wyatt has 2 baseballs signed by Jackson Holliday that are both written out to Wyatt. Speaking of the Wyatt baseballs, the kid's got 77 baseballs now signed, all written to himself. Added a lot of different people this year, from Jackson Holliday to Dylan Beavers to Zach Watson. Just really a who's who of just guys. Jordan Lyles. There's just a lot of people. But so when we went down there, we got Jackson Holliday, signed a baseball. So this is Jackson Holliday on a baseball. Also, you can see right here is a Jackson Holliday signed jersey. I wound up having a jersey made for Jackson and got that signed. And we also got a helmet signed. I really love this USA bird. So Jackson Holliday, full-size helmet, signed with the USA Oriole bird. I really think that was pretty cool. And then I picked up, I got 2 cards signed myself of the Team USA Jackson Holliday baseball cards, because these were the only cards he had out at the time. So I got these signed myself, and then I'm in an autograph group over the US, and I picked up these 2 as well. So I wound up getting the card signed. This one is actually numbered to 49. So Jackson Holliday numbered to 49 signed card as well. And then his cards just came out last week or 2 weeks ago in the Bowman set. I did load up a lot on Jackson Holliday out the gate. There's a couple more cards I'm looking at. I'm just waiting for that initial initial run to go through of people just instantly bang, 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 gotta have it, gotta have it. I also did buy I got a photo signed by Jackson as well, but then I did wind up, another collector I saw wind up selling a big 16 by 20 photo of Jackson, so I did buy that as well, and I have it hanging up on my wall with, it's Jackson, and then there's Adley over top of it with the first overall pick inscription. So the other cool thing with the whole Jackson Holiday thing was that I had this baseball signed by Adley. So I got this baseball signed by Adley. This is the first autograph in Baltimore that Adley signed. And if anybody who knows Adley writes your name on every autograph. This was the first one he signed. This does not have my name on it. But what I did was I had Jackson signed here, and then Ben McDonald signed it here. And Ben McDonald put 1-1. The funny part with Ben McDonald was I had to go to Camden Yards, like I normally do because I have season tickets there. I had Ben, I reached out to Ben on Twitter. He said, yeah, just bring it by. We'll take care of it. Well, I couldn't get Ben's attention. And then finally I get Kevin Brown, the announcer for the Orioles, attention. And I'm pointing at Ben like this, and I hold up the baseball, and Ben says, throw it. And to me, it's already signed by Jackson. It's already signed by Adley, and I'm freaking out. I have to throw it up over the regular booth to the TV level booth from the bowl and make sure I hit Ben McDonald so I don't screw up the ball. And damn sure enough, if I throw a strike right to Ben McDonald's hand, pop, right in the hand, signs it, tosses it back down, and your boy caught it. I did make sure that thing wasn't hitting the ground or anything, but just the throw, and my buddy Dave Buellett was with me, and just he's sitting there like, I can't believe you're going to throw this ball. I can't believe you're going to throw this ball. And I threw it, and he's like, holy shit. And it was pretty cool. So we wound up getting Ben McDonald on it. So this is probably the only balls signed by Adley, Jackson Holiday, and Ben McDonald. All three Oriole #1 overall picks in the franchise's history. So this is cool. This is in my collection. This is probably never coming out unless I die and the kids decide to sell everything. So a couple other things I got to share that I'm not going to be able to show you because I didn't pull them down was I finished an autograph of the Orioles prospects. It has Ryan Mountcastle, Adley Rutschman, Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad, Grayson Rodriguez, Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westberg, Kyle Stowers, D.L. Hall, and Cedric Mullins. I made it a photo. I had a photo made of all those guys, and my project this year was to get all 10 of them to sign it. Kyle Stowers, the weekend he came up officially for the rest of the year, I wound up getting Kyle to sign it as well. So Kyle was the last autograph on it. Grayson Rodriguez was the first one. Speaking of Grayson's one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet. Glad to actually be able to, I got to work with him a little bit this year and basically strike up a little bit of a friendly banter with him to where he knows who I am, I know who he is, and it's pretty cool. But I got that signed, and then I had a photo of Grayson and Adley made that's finished. That was another project of mine. It was to get Adley on both of those photos was one of the hardest autographs I got all year. I then did a signing with Adley, and I wound up getting the Adley rookie card, the Topps Now call-up card signed for my collection. So this is the Adley Rutschman Topps Now call-up card. I hate that it has the call-up here instead of the rookie logo, but because Topps was holding out until the 2023 Series 1, when Adley Rutschman will be probably the Wander Franco of the rookie cards next year. So Adley Rutschman Topps Now card. I also wind up getting on Adley Rutschman this year a PSA 10 Adley Rutschman First Bowman card. This was at a local card show, and I got it at a really good price, but Adley Rutschman PSA 10 First Bowman card signed. And then we wound up getting these prints were done at Camden Yards this year. Sorry about that. This is Adley Rutschman MLB debut custom artist print. And you can see it says signed by Adley Rutschman with his MLB debut 5/21/22. These things were really cool. They were $70 a piece. I just saw the Fanatics is now selling them as well, unsigned. So if somebody didn't get them, then they can definitely go on Fanatics' website and buy them. That was pretty cool. Another thing that I wound up getting was I held off so long on buying this, and just because of the price tag, I hated it. They wouldn't sell us the baseballs on Adley Rutschman for his debut the night that they went on. The Orioles held them back, or the Orioles game use group held them back and decided they weren't going to sell them. And then they sold them for $250. Unsigned, just the baseball from Adley. So I finally held off until I was doing the signing with Adley where I knew I was going to work with him and I can get it done. And then I finally bought it, and it's the Adley Rutschman, and it was the last one they had that was actually tied to Adley. It was a pitch thrown to Adley, one in the dirt that he actually got. So it's Adley Rutschman's MLB debut, autographed baseball with the game used MLB debut inscription. You can clearly see that the ball went into the dirt. It's MLB authenticated and JSA certified for the auto and the inscription. So that's this is a really expensive baseball. So I hope my kids, when something happens to me and they decide to sell all this stuff, they appreciate the value that I put into everything and made sure that they had some good quality stuff. Because I think they'll be set pretty good for a long time. Another thing that I picked up from a local collector that I wound up making a trade with was Carson. Carson had Adley Rutschman's game-used batting gloves from college. So you can see the Oregon Beavers logo, Adley Rutschman game-used signature. Oh, it's Adley Rutschman game-used with the signature right there. This was a good get for me. I want to buy an Adley game-used jersey, but, that's going to be really expensive. I'm looking at a couple grand on an Adley Rutschman game-used jersey. Hopefully they come down in price next season since it's not his rookie year, but his rookie jerseys I've seen go from anywhere from $2,200 to $8,000. So it's expensive, but eventually one day, Uncle Smooth will wind up having one because I kind of usually do get stuff like that. So these go really well with my Adley bat that I got last year. In the end of season recap, you can go back and look at that video. And then I wound up picking up Brandon Hyde. This is Brandon Hyde's black game-used jersey from this season. You can see the 30th anniversary patch is right there. Brandon Hyde won the Baseball America's Coach of the Year award. He should have beat Tito Francona for the Writers Association of America for it, but they're idiots, so what do they know? But Brandon Hyde's game-used jersey. I also picked up Cedric Mullins' rookie jersey from 2019. So this is a Cedric Mullins game-used rookie jersey. It also has the Frank Robinson patch on it from when Frank Robinson passed away. So this is Cedric Mullins' game-used jersey from that year as well, from 2019. And then we picked up Ryan Mountcastle's game-used helmet. Ryan signed a game-used 21. Ryan Mountcastle, game-used helmet. There's the 6 on the back. MLB authenticated, Beckett authenticated. Had Ryan sign it. Have a picture of me and Ryan sitting together with him signing it. Then we wound up going and getting Gunnar Henderson. So this is a autographed Gunnar Henderson baseball with the MLB debut inscription on it from 8/31/22. And then, because of the whole digital era now, it's hard to get ticket stubs. This is a Gunnar Henderson MLB debut ticket stub with the inscription. So Gunnar signed, MLB debut, inscription, pretty cool. Next up is the big dog. Gunnar Henderson, game-used minor league 2021 game-used bat. It is actually broken. There is a crack right there. Knob at the bottom, at the top. This is a IPO exclusive. IPO Chad Clark had Gunnar as an exclusive. These came from Gunnar directly. This is Gunnar's 2021 season when he was with Delmarva, Aberdeen, and then he finished up in Bowie. So Gunnar Henderson game-used bat. Then we have Kyle Bradish threw a hell of a game at the end of the season. I said I was picking up a lot of Kyle Bradish stuff. I meant it. Kyle Bradish pitched against the Astros. He threw 8 and 2/3. Don't understand why Brandon Hyde pulled him. 8 and 2/3, 10 strikeouts against the Houston Astros. His best performance of the year. Should have been a complete game, but his 30th anniversary patch, the Oriole patch on it. Kyle signed it with the game used inscription on it. And then when I bought the ball, the Orioles were so kind to give me a ball from that game, and it's actually the first strikeout from that game as well. So Kyle Bradish's first strikeout and the jersey from the 10 strikeout game against the Astros this year. And then there was one. And this was the get of the get for me this year. And it's not Oriole. So anybody who knows me knows that I am a Mike Trout fan. I think Mike Trout is our Mickey Mantle. He is the best player in baseball. I don't care what anyone says. So with me being a longtime season ticket holder, I reached out to my Orioles sales rep and asked if there was any way I could get on-field passes for me and Wyatt. They said, let me look into it. We'll figure something out. We'll take care of it. So they hit me back about 3 to 4 weeks beforehand. I kind of had a feeling it was going to work out. I've been a season ticket holder since 2008. So throw me a bone here. I've been through you guys through thick and thin every year. The only year I didn't have it was the year after I went through my divorce. And then the following year I wound up renewing my tickets anyway. So throw me a bone here. I missed 1 year out of that and I was going through a divorce. And so they call me back and they say, hey, Mr. Dorowski, we got you all set up. We just need to know if everyone is vaccinated. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. They say, we're good to go. You and your son are more than welcome. We're going to make sure you have passes, everything. So we get to about a week beforehand and I get a notification saying, hey, I need your vaccination card for you and your son. Now, if I was thinking ahead of time, I would have just said his name was Connor. And since my older boys, Connor and Camden, are vaccinated, and just sent that over and just said Wyatt was Connor, but I didn't because I wasn't thinking ahead of time. So got everything figured out, and they said, well, Wyatt can just wait there when they open the gates, and then he can come down, blah, 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 while you're on the field, etc. So, okay, whatever. My wife's going to come in with him while I'm waiting on the field. And then they told me that no, they have to wait until the gates actually open at 6 o'clock. Now, I'm going in at 5 before anybody else does. And then my wife and 2-year-old have to sit outside. Unfortunately, Wyatt got sick. So Wyatt couldn't go. Anyway, so I wound up taking 2 jerseys with me. Me and Wyatt both have Mike Trout jerseys that we wear. I wound up getting my Mike Trout jersey signed. And it is framed up, ready to go. Mike Trout signed jersey. This was my grail item. I've been on tape for a while now, so whenever we got the extra money, and every time it seems like we get extra money and I put the money aside to do the Mike Trout signings through MLAM, that something happens and I have to use the money. Because getting Mike Trout to sign a jersey is roughly anywhere from $800 to $1,200. So I got my jersey signed, and I had Wyatt's jersey with me as well. And Mike signs my jersey, and I say, hey, Mike, do you mind signing this for my son? He's 2. And it's just a little toddler jersey. And he's like, yeah, no problem. So Mike Trout signed 2 jerseys for me while I was on the field. It was the best thing in the world. I'm watching TikTok like a week and a half later, and there's a group called Beppins on TikTok. It's 2 kids, they're probably in their late teens, early 20s, where they're now doing interviews on the field, which one day I hope this turns into something like that as well. But we wind up, they got me on video while they're interviewing Mike. They have me on video waiting there to wait to get my stuff signed. But me and Wyatt both have Mike Trout signed jerseys hanging up. One's in my man cave, one actually is hanging up in Wyatt's room. And Wyatt, every morning when he gets up and I grab him before I take him to the babysitter, I ask him, hey, where's the goat? And he'll sit there and he goes, goat? And he points to his Trout jersey. That's it, fans. Can't end it better than that. So like, follow, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys next time here on Uncle Smooth's Man Cave. Take care.